Hey guys, autobotjohn here, and I just wanted to give you a look at my finished Ripley, Hicks, and Drake from the movie Aliens. It's taken me a very long time to complete these, gathering parts here and there, but very proud of these. We'll be switching heads with my Ripley figure. I have another Ripley sculpt in the works, so this one is just a stand-in until I can purchase the other one and get it painted up. I would like to give a quick shout out to a couple of people for pretty much helping me to achieve paint wise. I think I've really done a lot better, and it's thanks to these people. Thomas R. Turbank, Thomas M. Snyder. That's basically for the head sculpt for Hicks and the help you've given me. Andy Hibbs, all your detail work and all your little tips and tricks you've taught me and you've tried to show me really have paid off. I really appreciate all the help, and thank you, Thomas Turbank. Thank you so much. All your little hints and tips have helped me too. Ninny D, just really good guy all in all. Anytime I've ever asked him a question or I've asked him to help me to achieve certain skin tone or something, very cool guy, has always got back to me, and he's taught me a couple things paint-wise, so I appreciate that. And then last but not least, a real good friend of mine, and everybody in the 1/6 community probably knows him, Jacob Ramir. The dude is a beast. He's probably one of the best besides Seb. Really, really cool guy, and the techniques you've shown me and you've taught me and all the help you've given me, man, I really appreciate it, and I really have achieved, honestly. I'm going to get better, but I really think I'm getting there, and my paint jobs are really, really looking good. So let's start off with Ripley. Like I said, not much to say about her. This is the stock figure, the original Hot Toys figure. The head sculpt was okay. It wasn't great, and I always wondered why it really didn't have Sigourney Weaver's likeness. For one, back in the day, they didn't have Sigourney Weaver's permission, so they couldn't use her likeness. In fact, the original Alien Hot Toy figures couldn't even be considered figures. They were considered, if I remember, they were snap kits. You actually had to build them yourself. Pain in the ass to get all the little parts and stuff on. Those were, I remember those, but this is what we had at the time. The new Ripley coming out looks fucking badass. But basically what I did, the sculpt, she's there in the sculpt. Whoever sculpted this back in the day, they tried really good to capture her. The sculpt's not terrible. I've seen a lot better, but for now this will do. And basically I repainted it, gave her the more in-your-face look, because in my opinion Ripley is one of the most badass female characters, up there with Celine and Alice from Resident Evil, and of course Celine from the Underworld series. There's not too many more badass characters than Ripley. So basically repainted her, gave her some sweat going down her face, and that is thanks to Jacob Ramir and Thomas R. Turbank. Thanks for showing me that technique. It really brings the figures to life. Stock body, not my favorite of bodies. Anybody that has the Vasquez or the Ripley figure, you know what I'm talking about. The joints are really, they're just not that good. We'll be switching her body out, but weathered up the pants, weathered up the boots. I'm going to weather up the top when I get to it. Added a flame to the actual flamethrower. I'm very happy with her and content for now until I can get the better head sculpt and a new body for her. So there she is, and like I said, very happy with her right now. Just happy to have these in general, because anybody who's tried to buy these, you won't spend less than $500 for a Marine. Ripley you might be able to find for under $2, maybe under $3, but for the Marines you'll pay close to, I've seen them close to $700 to $800. That's ridiculous. So moving on to Mark Drake. Basically, the only thing I'm missing is his backlight and his headphone, head microphone, whatever you call it, to his headset. Repainted the head completely. The Hot Toys one, the sculpt was there, like I said, but the paint job was terrible. So I went in and painted it again over, and I even gave him, you can see his scar. And I can't think of the name of the actor that plays him, but I tried to capture him as close as I could. He's got blonde hair, because in the movie Drake has blonde hair. I really tried to capture him as well as I could too, and he's got sweat running down his head too. So all these figures from the Aliens line, I painted on sweat to them, because I mean, you know, they're facing the aliens. They're going to be scared out of their mind. And like I said, I added my bitch instead of, I forgot what it had, something like Amigo or something written. So I took some paint thinner and I got rid of that. And then I repainted it and then put my bitch on it like he has in the movie. So Drake is completely finished. He's on the Hot Toys. This is the original Drake from Hot Toys. I didn't add anything to it except for the repaints and revisions. The body was I think they used the Rambo body from the second Rambo, I believe it was. And all I did was went in and I fleshed out the skin tone a little more to match the head and neck. Went in with some light brown shading to bring out the highlights in his muscles, you know, like the veins, and then added some sweat running down his arms. So, yeah. So there's Drake. And then last but not least is Dwayne Hicks, my favorite character from the movie. And a big thank you again to Thomas M. Snyder for the awesome Michael Biehn Dwayne Hicks head sculpt. This is badass, guys. If you're going to make a Hicks figure, you really need to get this head sculpt. I've never seen a better one. Well, correction, I have. I can't remember the guy's name, but he basically made one a long time ago. They're both phenomenal, but this is it. I honestly, if Hot Toys does do a revision of the Marines, I don't even know if their sculpt is going to top this, because this is just Dwayne Hicks. This is Michael Biehn all day long. And you can see I added the 5 o'clock shadow, because a lot of people I've seen their customs, they don't do that. They don't add the 5 o'clock shadow, and if you watch the movie really closely, he's got a little bit of scruff on his face, and he does have a 5 o'clock shadow. He's not clean shaven. He does have a beard. You just have to look very closely. But there's the sweat running down his face, and you know, his skin's a little wet, so he looks a little worried. I wish the eyes would come in a little clearer, guys. I'm sorry about that, but you can get the basic idea. The highlights in his hair. And this is just awesome. I kept this one on the original body that the Hicks figure came with. This is not a Hot Toys gun. I got this off of a KB Toys exclusive Hicks versus an Alien 2-pack. From Kenner, and I think the gun was all green if I remember, and I went in and painted it and added the dings and just weathered it up all the way. Weathered up his armor completely, added more dings and stuff to his armor. Like I said, added his tattoo to his arm. born again on his his left shoulder pad where he has the bullet hole, his lock. Added the strap that will be where his shotgun goes once I get it finished. I don't know what that symbol is on the back of his armor, but some kind of Japanese symbol or something. Added that. And then it's probably not going to come out, but right there it says Lifer. Because in the movie that's what he had up there. Added the strap to the gun. It didn't have that. Added the white bandage. So, yeah, I've reworked him all together and very happy with how he's come out. His helmet, added the little, I don't know what it is. I think he held cigarettes in it in the movie, if I remember correctly. Added some more weathering and dings to the helmet. Went in with and dry brush silver on the camera, painted his head, his microphone, headphone, whatever you call it, silver and black. Went in and I took out that padding underneath the helmet, so that way the helmet actually fits better on the head sculpt. But yeah, so there is my custom Aliens, Colonial Marines, and Ripley. Leave me feedback, guys, and big shout-outs to those guys again. Really trying to take all the techniques you're showing me and apply them. I think everything's coming out pretty good so far. I will be making Hudson and Vasquez. I know where to get a head sculpt for Hudson, but the hardest thing when it comes to kick bashing or custom making Colonial Marines, it's not the head sculpts. They're pretty easy to find. It's the actual armor. Because the only way to really get it is either somebody that makes it, which I think there was a couple people on the Freaks board that was making it, but years ago, and I don't think they make it anymore. So you either have to try and find that, try to make your own copies of it, cast your own armor, or you have to buy the original toy, the original hot toy, and like I said, that's going to run about at least $600-700 unless you find somebody who's selling them on a deal or something. But so right now I do want to make Vasquez and Hudson, and it's not a problem of finding the head sculpts. It's the armor that's going to be a problem. So they are in the works whenever I can get it to them and I can find a good deal for them, because unfortunately, for a custom, I'm not going to pay $600 to make one. If I have to, I'll stick with these guys and I'll be happy with it. But, I really would like to complete at least the main group of the Marines. I do have a head sculpt for Apone that I'm painting up. And I think what I'm going to do instead of making him in his Colonial Marine gear is I'm just going to have him with the camo undersuit and his hat, like he was when they were on the ship before they went to the planet to face the aliens. So I think I'll just have him in that. Other than that, the only other customs I have right now in the works besides The Walking Dead is I am going back and redoing my Ghostbusters. All the hype with the new cast and everything, I decided I wanted to go back and finish up my Ghostbusters. So I have, right now I have done with Mr. Dr. Venkman, and I've repainted the head sculpt, and I've put him on a different body, more stronger, not muscle body, but stronger than a dragon body. Repainted the elbow pads, dyed his suit a little bit, and shortened the hose on his proton pack. Waiting to get 3 more proton packs, and then I will get to work on the other Ghostbusters. I've already repainted the head sculpts on Ray, Egon. I'm in the works on Winston right now. So they should be done soon. It's just a question of how quick I can get the proton packs. It's a big factor in that. Bodies won't be that hard to get because they're not muscle-bound guys, so you can buy pretty much any body. It'll work out. So leave me feedback, guys. Let me know what you think. I'll have more updates on the Ghostbusters, and hopefully my Colonial Marines will continue to grow. If not, it may be a while, but I will get them eventually. Hot Toys, if you ever watch my videos and are listening, you need to make a Queen Alien. You've made an Ironmonger, you're making the Hulkbuster, so I don't want to hear this excuse that you can't make a huge figure. Anybody that's going to get that new Ripley coming out, they probably want a Queen Alien. I mean, what's the point of having the power loader if you don't have the Queen Alien? And that would be the one I would buy. So anyway, guys, let's get them to make that. That'd be sweet as hell. Leave me feedback. Let me know what you think. Shout out to all those guys I mentioned and to my boy Odell, man. Miss you. Hope you come home soon, man. Appreciate what you're doing over there for us. All right, guys. Peace.